River cruising really does divide opinion. Some cruisers absolutely love the slower pace, the ever-changing scenery, and the ease of stepping straight into the heart of European historic towns. Others, they find it boring, repetitive, and a bit too tame. This was our first sailing the Danube and our first time with Amadeus, a line that doesn't shout as loudly as the other big names, but quietly promises something more refined. Over 7 nights aboard Amadeus Riva, we got to see exactly what they're about, and let's just say we were in for a surprise.
Public areas aboard Amadeus Riva are bright, open and airy. Whether you're curled up with a book or watching the banks of the Danube roll past, it's designed for proper relaxation. The decor is modern, fresh and sophisticated, perfect for a warm summer sailing like ours, but we can imagine it being just as inviting and cosy on a winter itinerary. What really stands out is the quality. The furnishings are plush, the seating is genuinely comfortable, and everything feels deliberately chosen and very premium. It doesn't feel like it's just been thrown in for the sake of it. You get the sense that Amadeus understands that comfort truly matters to their guests, especially on longer cruises like the ones which they offer. And then there's the upkeep. We genuinely assumed Riva was a brand new ship. When we found out she had actually launched in 2023, we were stunned because she looks new. No question about it. No scuffed corners, no worn fabrics, no signs that she's been sailing around European waterways for the past 2 years. She's genuinely spotless and clearly very well cared for by her crew. From the moment you step on board, it feels like you're in a 5-star boutique hotel, just one that happens to float. And after a long day exploring cities and the countryside, coming back to Amadeus Riva genuinely feels like coming home. For those that have only ever done an ordinary cruise at sea, stepping into the world of river cruising comes with a few surprises. It's a different pace, a different rhythm, and in many ways, a very different mindset. One of the biggest differences is how you get on and off of the ship. There's no security screening, no x-rays where you have to put your bags through every time you get back on board the ship. There are no queues to swipe your cruise card because you don't have one. On Amadeus Riva, you simply hand your cabin fob in at reception when you want to leave the ship, and you're given a small card to take with you for when you leave. When you return, you hand the card back in and you get your fob returned. That's it. It's smooth and it feels like leaving a hotel rather than disembarking a ship. After years of battling long port queues and chaotic embarkation zones on ocean cruises, this calm and civilised process is a real breath of fresh air. Another quirk you'll quickly encounter is how river ships dock. Because mooring space is limited in many ports, it's completely normal for ships to tie up side by side, sometimes 3 or 4 deep. If your ship isn't the one that's alongside the quayside, then you'll be walking through or over the other ships to get to the shore. You'll pass through reception or over the sun deck, exchange a polite smile with their crew and carry on. Likewise, their guests may walk through your ship. It's a little strange at first, but it's totally normal in river cruising and surprisingly well managed. And then there's perhaps the biggest charm of all, how incredibly close you dock to the actual town or city that you're visiting. Unlike ocean cruises, where ports can be miles from the centre and require lengthy shuttle rides or even a shore excursion, on a river cruise, you're often moored right in the heart of the destination that you're visiting. You step off of the gangway and you're in the middle of it all. Cafes, markets, cathedrals, even quiet back streets you'd never find on a guided tour. On this cruise, we've arrived in many ports around 7 AM and stayed until midnight. That kind of timing means that you can explore by day and then head back again in the evening. You leave each port feeling like you've really been there. You've actually got to experience the place, the culture, the cuisine. River cruising is so much more immersive than what ocean cruising usually is.
Something we've come to really appreciate is the total lack of pressure to spend money. There's no constant upselling, no one trying to flog you a drinks package, because there isn't one. Wi-Fi is included, all your meals are included, There's no specialty restaurants to pay for, even the spa feels fair. A 50-minute Swedish massage is priced at around €70 and there's no hard sell for luxury products afterwards. It's just simple, relaxed and designed to make you feel at ease.
All in all, river cruising strips away a lot of the noise that's crept into ocean cruising over the years. It's more relaxed, more connected to the places that you visit, and far less about the onboard spectacle. If you're after water slides and Broadway-style shows, this probably isn't for you. But if you're looking for comfort, calm, and the chance to properly explore each and every port that you visit, you may just discover that river cruising is exactly what you've been looking for. Let's talk cabins. I'm in a panoramic window stateroom, the lowest grade option aboard AMADEUS Riva. At 172 square feet, it's only slightly smaller than the average size of an outside cabin on an ocean cruise ship, which typically comes in at around 180 square feet. But honestly, it really doesn't feel any smaller. The space here has been used incredibly well. No dead corners, no pointless furniture, just clean, clever design that makes the most of every inch of space. There's a large panoramic window, fixed in place, but it floods the room with natural light and frames the riverside scenery at water level. It's not particularly light at the moment because we're docked alongside AMADEUS Riva's sister ship, AMADEUS Nova. Inside this cabin, you get a double or twin bed that's genuinely comfortable. The air conditioning is excellent, cool, quiet and efficient, and the whole space feels peaceful and private. Storage is generous, with a good-sized wardrobe, in-room safe and plenty of well-placed plug sockets and USB ports. Yes, even by the bed. Take note, ocean cruise ships. The bathroom is spacious and well designed, with a walk-in shower with a glass door, hallelujah, soft lighting and Rituals luxury toiletries that give a boutique hotel feel. There's also a hairdryer, interactive flat screen TV with news channels and free movies on demand, and climate control for the air conditioning. All the essentials for a relaxing, fuss-free stay. There is a common myth that river ships have to compromise on cabin comfort because of their smaller size. This room proves otherwise.
The next grade up is the drop-down panoramic window stateroom, though technically it's more like an infinite veranda concept you'll find on Celebrity Edge class ships, a large window that slides down at the push of a button, turning the entire stateroom into a breezy open-air retreat. At 188 square feet, these cabins offer a touch more room than the entry-level option, and it's space that's been well used, with the same clever layout, excellent storage and practical design which AMADEUS seems to nail across the board. The AMADEUS signature bed, available as a double or twin configuration, is just as comfortable, and you get all the thoughtful touches that makes these cabins stand out. Ample plug sockets and USB ports by the bed, a walk-in wardrobe, climate control, an interactive flat screen TV and a well-stocked minibar. The bathroom setup is identical to the cabin below, which is a very good thing. Spacious, with a proper walk-in shower, premium Rituals toiletries, good lighting. You also get bathrobes and slippers, which adds to that refined boutique hotel feel AMADEUS has tried to create on board. Is it worth upgrading to this stateroom? If you love the idea of that open air experience or just want a little bit more space and light, absolutely. You're getting the same comfort, quality and smart design as the entry-level room, but with an added touch of luxury and a better view. For us, this would be the grade we would choose, as it hits all the areas which matter, and it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg.
For this sailing, we were kindly given an AMADEUS suite, and it really is a lovely suite. At 284 square feet, this is considerably bigger than the staterooms we've already shown you, and places it firmly at the upper end of entry-level suite sizes on ocean ships, which typically range from 250 square feet to 300 square feet. There's room to stretch out, unpack, breathe, and most importantly, enjoy the views. Unlike the drop-down window in the cabin grade below, here you get a proper walkout balcony. There isn't enough space to sit on the balcony itself, but you can place the comfortable chairs in the cabin by the door and utilise the tables on the balcony. It's the perfect way to start your morning or finish the day with a nice glass of wine. Inside is all about understated luxury. You get the Amadeus signature queen-size bed, easily one of the most comfortable beds we've ever slept in. You have a separate lounge area with a clever rotating TV that you can angle towards the sofa or the bed. It's one of those thoughtful design details that makes you realise how well these cabins have been designed. Storage is generous, with a walk-in wardrobe, cupboards, drawers, just about everywhere, and plenty of plug sockets and USB ports, including by the bed. The bathroom is slick and spacious, with high-end rituals toiletries, soft lighting, and a powerful shower. You also get bathrobes, slippers, and a very welcome surprise. Yes, you get a espresso coffee machine with a selection of coffee pods which are included, and they are replenished daily by your cabin steward. Now let's talk about the air conditioning. This suite, like all of the other staterooms, has the coldest air conditioning we've ever seen, ever. Not just on a ship. It goes as low as 10 degrees Celsius. Yes, 10. If you're like me and you appreciate being able to turn your cabin into a human fridge after a hot day ashore, this is going to be your dream. Ultimately, this suite is a genuinely lovely place to be. If it fits your budget, we'd absolutely say go for it. The space, the comfort, the private balcony, it all adds up to an experience that feels exclusive without being pretentious.
Dining on a river cruise is a very different experience to what you'll find on an ocean ship, and that's especially true when it comes to choice. On Amadeus River, there's no buffet sprawling across half a deck, no pizza station open till 2 AM, no flashy specialty restaurants charging you a small fortune. All your main meals are served in the same restaurant, and while the menu is more limited than you might be used to, the quality more than makes up for it. Breakfast is buffet style, with a solid spread of hot and cold options, including eggs, sausages, fresh fruit, pastries and cereals. At lunch and dinner, things shift to full table service. You order from a set menu and the waitstaff take care of the rest. It's a calm, civilised dining experience, and every dish arrives looking immaculate and piping hot. Everything is cooked to order, and that means so much thought is going into creating your dish. And it isn't just sitting under a heat lamp waiting to be ordered. The food itself is healthy, light and well proportioned. You won't leave the table feeling bloated or sluggish. This isn't food piled high for the sake of it. It's clean, flavourful, and clearly made with good quality ingredients. Meals feel thoughtfully curated, not mass-produced, and honestly, it's a breath of fresh air. By the end of the week, we're counting down the days to eating something with some nutritional value again. Here, it's the opposite. We've actually felt as though we've eaten more healthy on board than we do at home.
If you're not in the mood for a full sit-down meal, the Panorama Lounge offers a more casual option. Each morning they serve a light continental breakfast, pastries, fruit, yoghurt and cereal. At lunchtime, there's a small but well-executed buffet, with freshly cooked pasta, toasted sandwiches and a DIY salad bar. It's ideal if you're after something simple between excursions. One of our favourite little touches, though, is the afternoon tea that is served in the lounge every day at 3:30 PM. You'll find a lovely spread of small sandwiches, cakes and a proper selection of teas. No scones, but we'll forgive them for that. So while the dining setup on Amadeus River may be more limited in terms of venues and options, what it does offer is consistent, thoughtful and beautifully delivered. And after years of being overloaded with choice at sea, this simpler, more curated approach is a breath of fresh air.
Entertainment on river cruises is a world away from what you'll find at sea, and that's very much the point. There's no West End productions, no stand-up comedians, no deck parties or game shows. On river cruises, the main entertainment is the destination itself. Going ashore, exploring new towns and cities, soaking up the history and culture, that's the entertainment. The freedom for you to choose what you see and do and how you spend your time. That said, there's always something happening in the Panorama Lounge in the evening. It's a relaxed atmosphere, no theatre, no flashing lights, but you'll often find a pianist playing as guests unwind after dinner, or the ship's resident singer providing live music into the night. What really stands out though is the cultural entertainment that's being brought on board depending on where you're docked. On this cruise, we've seen Austrian ballroom dancers, traditional Hungarian folk band, and a Slovakian violinist. It's intimate, it's authentic, and it gives you a genuine taste of the region you're travelling through. It's another example of how river cruising leans into immersion. The entertainment isn't about distracting you from where you are, it's about deepening your connection to the places you're visiting.
So what else is there to do on board? Well, you're not exactly sport for choice, but then again, that's kind of the point. You can book yourself a reasonably priced massage in the wellness area. There's a small but perfectly functional gym, open 24 hours a day, if you fancy getting a workout in. If you want to go for a bike ride, you can. You can hire bikes free of charge at the reception. Up on the sun deck, you can have a game of shuffleboard or chess, or why not try some mini golf? But honestly, most people spend their time doing what river cruising is made for. Slowing down, soaking in the views, breathing in the clean air. Sinking into a comfortable chair with a good book and a glass of something cold is far more important on a river cruise. River cruising is all about the journey, the changing landscapes, the calm pace, the ability to sit and just be somewhere. You need to be able to appreciate river cruising for exactly what it is, or you're going to be in for a bitter disappointment. The service on board Amadeus River has been absolutely faultless. From the moment we stepped on board, the crew have been warm, welcoming, and incredibly professional. Everyone seems genuinely happy to be here, and that attitude carries through in every interaction. Everything runs smoothly and efficiently, without ever feeling forced or overly formal. The ship itself is immaculate, genuinely spotless. You could walk around the ship barefoot and not think twice about it. I would go as far as to say it's probably one of the cleanest ships we've ever been on. There's not a huge amount to say, simply because there's been nothing to complain about regarding the service. The service has been exceptional from start to finish, and we can't really give more praise than that, can we? One thing that we've really come to appreciate on Amadeus River is how easy it's been to stay connected. Unlike many ocean cruises where Wi-Fi is either extortionate or painfully slow, here it's complimentary, and more importantly, it actually works. You're given a printed receipt with your login details when you check in, and from that point onwards, it's all been seamless. No faffing around with logins and no waiting 5 minutes for a WhatsApp message to load. Whether you're posting photos, replying to messages, or watching videos on YouTube, it's been smooth sailing from start to finish. Excuse the pun. If you're travelling from Europe, or like us from the UK, mobile roaming is just as straightforward. Most phone contracts now include free calls, texts, and data within the EU. On this Danube cruise through Hungary, Slovakia, Austria, and Germany, we've been fully covered by our regular phone plans the whole way. You don't need to put your phone on airplane mode, just leave it on and you'll get a quick message letting you know if you're covered in that country, and if you suddenly need to put airplane mode on if you're not.
So to wrap things up, we've been genuinely impressed by our Danube cruise aboard Amadeus River. This has been one of the most relaxed, scenic and enjoyable cruises we've done in a long time. The cabins are smart, comfortable, the food has been consistently excellent and well balanced, and the service has felt effortless and friendly. Everything runs smoothly, quietly, and with a level of care that's hard to fault. And you know us, if there's something to fault, we'd tell you. Amadeus may not be one of the big names you hear about all the time, but that's exactly why it stands out. There are some major players in river cruising that dominate the conversation, but take the time to look at the lesser known lines like Amadeus. It could just be the best decision you make this year.